It is rather cool today. This is like almost a shock to the system. This is hoodie and shorts weather, which is what I thrive for. I like hoodie and shorts weather. This is definitely my jam. Getting up on top of the hill, it's always a good view. It didn't stay there. We're gonna get a little wet, and it's cold. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is still technically Saturday morning. Dad and I went on a little scouting adventure this morning. Since honestly our afternoons are completely shot now. And yes, it is my fault because it is football season. So probably the only farming channel you'll find where you get high school football updates. So on that front, varsity had their first game on Thursday. We played Superior. It's like the longest haul that we have is coming down to Superior, going to Superior, coming back. And we played pretty darn well. We won. Was it 42-21? But they scored touchdown in the fourth quarter against like our seconds and thirds. So that was pretty nice. And then Friday, our freshmen had, it's just our yearly kick off the season scrimmage. And obviously got a few things we got to work on, but overall, not too bad. So that was pretty happy about that. On for farm stuff. We did not feed the steers this morning, so we got to give them some grain. And then we're going to go pick up some bales. But we got to start by taking the brush hog off of the Mahindra because Dad was playing around with that over the week. All right, update on the 2030. Actually, yesterday, I was able to come home after work because our scrimmage was in the afternoon. We got the hood back on. I actually need one 3/8 nut for this guy up in there, which that's down at the shop, so just need to go get one. We do have a new tach, and then we have the temp sensor. I did write on the side because to the best of our knowledge the tach was still operational, so the hours should have been pretty decent, at least for the last few hundred hours. I just wrote on the side of it that we installed the new tach about 300 hours after engine rebuild. Just give or take a little bit. So probably not totally accurate, but pretty close. We're gonna buzz up the road to the neighbors up here and grab some on the field where, well, we spun out last week. But it should be much, much drier. We didn't get any rain this week. All right, so it's definitely dried up a little bit out here. I was actually able to drive down the edges of some of my ruts, and it was still soft. But as long as you got the sod and it's a little dry, the tires are a little damp, but you're gonna have that. So we're gonna make a swipe through here because this is pretty wet in here, and then it's a lot drier once you get up here. So we'll make a loop through here. All right, back from getting our first load. It was okay. I scratched a little bit when I was finally full. It's still a little wet, but at least it's just scratching the sod and not leaving a rut. I was able to get going really quick. What we're gonna do out here though, Dad's gonna do one row just fine, and then these couple of rows we're gonna stay back like 4 or 5 bales because this is a low spot. It is rather cool today. This is like almost a shock to the system. This is hoodie and shorts weather, which is what I thrive for. I mean, I love summertime. I mean, I definitely do. you know, grass growing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I definitely like summer much more than winter, obviously, but I like hoodie and shorts weather. This is definitely my jam. But it is pretty cool. It's like low 60s right now, but it is like, it's all overcast, obviously. All right, took a smidge of a break. Not like we really need a huge one, but last night went to Fleet, and they actually had the Redmond with garlic, so it smells very garlicky in my truck. So I'm gonna run a bag out to the cows. I know they have mineral, but they do not have, they could use some of the fine salt. Try and knock out a couple of loads yet this afternoon. On our little trip this morning, started talking about things that are gonna be coming up. One thing is we wanna maybe get the chopper out pretty soon, because there's definitely some fine tuning that we wanna do to it. Last year, we didn't really dig too much into how close we set the cutter bar and stuff like that. That's an area that, seeing the way it chopped, we definitely need to narrow that down a little bit. I definitely want to look into using some inoculants when we're putting it on the pile. One, how are we actually going to apply it? And then two, like, which one do we use? You know, all that kind of stuff, and figuring out what we want to do. Probably just talk to our dealer where we got the seed. But I definitely think that's something we have to look into. Definitely reduce spoilage and just better overall better quality feed going through the entire winter. So that's some stuff we want to look at, and then definitely pulling the chopper out to start looking into that guy and get ready for chopping, because I had made the comment, like, it's crazy that, like, in about a month we're gonna wean calves, because we also talked about that too. And when I said that, Dad's like, well, in about a month we could be chopping corn also. So I got to right about where Dad is, and I was parked, well, right in front here, right there was a track of some standing water. So I took a hard right and got the heck out of there. So even Dad's driving around it. It's literally like right in here. All right, load number 2 for today. Dad's gonna unload that. I'm gonna go grab the 2030 and just pull it out and let it run. Because it usually takes Dad about 20 minutes or so to unload one of these guys. And we'll just let that guy run for that 20 minutes or so. And here we go, here's the new tach. Looks exactly like the original, which is really, really nice. And it's nice that it actually seems to work decent. And then this is the temp gauge we went with. So we'll let that guy run. I'm gonna go cut some grass. Looks like the gauge, the temperature gauge, is working fine. Got up to about 170-ish, which has always been kind of the norm for that thing. So cross our fingers, that's where it's running at, and it's running decent. But honestly, with new sensor, new gauge, and new tach, we just have a little bit more reassured that we're actually getting proper information too. So this third load, we came up to the top of the hill because we do have to go through their little horse pasture to get here, and we want to make sure we got this done today in case they want to switch pastures for where they have their horses. So I want to take care of this one first, but getting up on top of the hill, it's always a good view. Hey, good morning. All right, it is another, well, cool, gloomy morning. It's what my wife would say, sweater weather. So we got the hoodie and shorts weather, so I'm good. Did a little cleanup around here. That's always my job. Bethany will cut the lawn, but she won't touch right in front of the manger and stuff like that. She said that's my job. So no big deal. Yeah, so this morning, just waiting on Dad. He's got a couple things to do at home. He'll be here in a minute. So we are going to, at minimum, we've got just over a load, one trip up there at the neighbors. And then we're done up there. And then we have oats bales. Over there. Hopefully it stays a quarter mile to the north and we stay dry. Hopefully. It didn't stay there. We're gonna get a little wet and it's cold. Popcorn shower. All right, we're in a rain delay, more so for a wardrobe change, because both of our sweatshirts are soaked. Dad actually was wearing jogging pants and those are soaked. And we're chilled. We're a little chilled. So we're going to take just a little bit of a break and find something else to put on. All right, dry sweatshirt acquired and some other dry items. All right, I'll take these bales over and come back and get the Mahindra and start unloading it while I wait for Dad. So hopefully these blue skies kind of stick around and we can go finish our bales. Got the last 6 bales from the neighbors and now we're heading kitty corner across the field and we're heading back to the oats bales. Alright, so Dad's gonna unload this and we just talked about what we want to do with it, and we're gonna go one row all the way, so it's gonna be about 30 bales long because we are leaving that those first 4 or 5 spots open. Then there's still those 6 hay bales and Dad will bring them up. There's a little cubby by that loose bale over there. And then one spot here. Technically, we could put a whole nother row on this face too. So we have options. So we both agree that we're gonna go through our old hay first. For the most part, you know, come late October-ish kind of thing. And then when we get a new stuff, just work across the face back and forth. So that way, like once a week, give or take, they would get an oats bale. So Dad's got 2 bales left, and then we're gonna go run. I've got the cutter. Just gonna grab one of our grassy bales from the end here, the twine bales, and we'll go run that out. The last couple I grabbed weren't too shabby on the inside, and honestly, there's still enough grass out there. Even if they eat half or 3/4 of a bale, they're gonna be just fine. All right, so they're not overly excited that we brought them a bale, but there's still some stuff they can nitpick out on this field, and we do need to start kind of stretching out our pastures a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So yeah, even though that hay is not great quality, there's still some value to it, and it does stretch out our paddocks. Tomorrow they'll get moved, and I'll give them a big enough chunk that'll be good. So I'll move them Monday. I need to give them enough so that they're good for Monday and Tuesday, and then rotate them on Wednesday and give them enough that they're definitely good for Thursday, because Thursday I will not be around. Yeah, so we'll start throwing a couple of bales out here once in a while, especially on that east stretch. You know, there's still areas that can use a little TLC from last year and also this year. All right, so a pretty darn decent day, other than the fact we got drenched this morning. Got all of our bales finally picked up, so that was good. Definitely a step in the right direction. But like as Dad said, the next couple weeks are definitely going to be some hectic ones, because we want to cut a little second crop, or at least cut as much as we can. Hopefully our oats get combined, but then we still have to bale them. So there's baling the straw for that, and then getting that chopper out and starting to work on the chopper. It is Sunday. It is the end of the day. Our weekend just poof into thin air, and we have come to the end of the video. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button, help support the channel. And of course, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, help us get to our goal of 2,000 subs. We're getting there, slow but sure, but we're getting there. I know we will. And as always, thanks for coming along.